go through and review all of those formulas and skills that we should know by now. Okay, so I'm hoping, I mean, this is all posted, right? So I'm hoping that you were able to get these answers, or at least trace back, like, where did I make a mistake? So today was very like low risk, but potential high reward down the road. And this is the one that this is sometimes a bit complicated to understand, right? And you know what? My key here, I've started to just use lowercase I so students don't mistake this by like with the total interest paid. Okay. And always know that the payment is the principal plus the interest. Therefore, to figure out the principal portion of that payment, you just subtract the interest from your payment. So for offer A, 293.21 minus the interest I just got. So the rest is 220. So these two should always add up to your payment. Okay, same here. Then I made you figure out total paid for the car. So remember, there's that down payment that we add to what you've paid the bank, right? I know my formula probably has this in front, but it doesn't matter, right? 2 plus 3 is the same thing as 3 plus 2. We shouldn't be too confused by that, I hope, right? Let's go to the back side where it's like testing your understanding here. Something happened that shifted, right? This part, consider the following two loans, is on the previous side, but so we have the same amount borrowed, same interest rate, but different, right, amortization or time frame. And so I'm asking you, which is going to have less total interest paid? And so you would have to say loan B wins this one because you're taking less time to pay it off. If everything else is the same, right, it would be, you'd be paying less total interest on a lower term. Okay, take less time to pay off, right? Which is going to have a higher monthly payment. Loan B is going to win this one as well because you're paying it off faster, of course. So less time, it means you pay more every month, right? So you use your own words. Feel free to elaborate, right? Which loan would you choose? Why? There's no right answer. Okay, so you could say I would choose loan A because it would have a lower payment, leaving me with more to spend on other things, right? So loan A would be more manageable, if you want to put it that way, on a month-to-month basis. Or you could say, no, I like to keep as much money in my pocket in the long run. So I choose B because it would save on total interest paid. I can use the savings to buy something else, right? So it really is up to you what you want to do there. And then question 3 was really a used private sale, right? So we have the purchase price, we pay PST on the higher amount, which is the book value. There's my safety and my lien search. You get that as your final answer. If you even just want to write down the final answer in brackets next to it, that is great. Then there's a parts and labor, but this is a part B type of situation. You should know that parts and labor get taxed 12%. So I kind of figure out all the costs that are associated, add it all up, and at the end add 12% taxes to it to give me that final answer there after tax. Now you want to know the total cost including parts and labor. So I'm basically adding A and B together, right? This is A and this is B. My parts and labor, I've been like doing it separately. Now I bring it all together. What if you would have bought the same car at a dealership for 12 grand? How much would it cost after tax? So the dealership, she does not need to worry about safety, book value, or parts and labor, right? So you just go to the dealer. There's no trade-in, right? So you just multiply that by 1.12. This is how much you would have spent at a dealership. And so if you look at C and D, right, even though you had to pay for all the extras, you still pay less overall. So savings is just subtracting these two to get you that number right there. So it's a bit of a side-by-side comparison. All right, I hope this helped. And let's go over to our booklets now. So note booklet, page 19. Page 19. Oh, I should say this. So at the top you write down how can you reduce the total interest paid on a loan? There should be a blank page that I inserted. So how could you reduce the total interest paid? The first thing that you can do, it's in your control, is put down a larger down payment. Put down a down payment. There you go. A down payment is kind of like a key term for us. Okay? Or increase, you can say increase your down payment. The more you put down, the less interest you'll pay overall. Okay? And another thing you can do is make additional payments. Okay? I talked about that, I believe, right? Like if you want to make an extra payment on the side, all of that money, folks, all of it goes straight towards the loan. There's no interest charged on that. So that's the beauty of it, right? If you say, hey, I can do an extra 50 a month, boom, all of that extra will go towards your loan, okay? The other one would be to decrease the amortization or term of loan. And I want you to feel free to use your own words. Take less time to pay it off. And I will also say this, make lump sum payments. So a lump sum is not like, let's say you get, a birthday gift, a couple $100, and you're like, you know what, instead of buying something, I'm going to go to my bank and just say $200, boom, put it towards my loan, please, right? So every once in a while, it's not like a consistent thing. It's just like, here, $100. I worked some overtime, $200, right? I got something paid out at work, was unexpected, put it towards the loan, right? So that's it. That's all I'm going to give you there. And one more. So how can you reduce the total interest, right? And this other one is how could you lower your monthly payment? I'm going to just scroll up a bit. So this is talking about the payment, right? The actual payment. There's a lot of crossover between what we just talked about. You could increase the down payment. What would result in a lower monthly payment? Taking longer to pay off or less time to pay off? Take longer, right? If you take longer, it's going to be a smaller payment, right? Increase term of loan, right? 5 years versus 3 years, for example. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Obviously, you can always say shop for a lower interest rate, but quite often it's not a big difference from bank to bank. It's kind of like the market is the same. There are always exceptions. Always have your eyes open. But anyways, all right. Now we're gonna do a little bit of an extension here. We're just gonna get it started, and then tomorrow you will continue with that. Okay. So I'll take 10 minutes to do this. So flip through your books. Go to page 24. Amortization, like some definitions, we already know those. There's some formulas there. These formulas are the ones we're going to be using for our amortization table. And you should have done this in grade 11. And you're like, I forgot everything. That's okay. Today is your second go at it. Okay. So go to this table here. Okay. And we're going to fill in one of these. And so the first thing we need to figure out is our monthly payment. So just follow me here. Page 24. Jamal purchased a vehicle for $12,000. He had to borrow $10,000, right? The whole thing at 4.25% for 3 years. Complete the amortization table below. Actually, this is page 18 that the table is at because I've added a lot of stuff since I forgot to change that. So let's figure out the payment real quick. Payment is we need to borrow 10 grand, right? So there was a $2,000 down payment. And let's figure this out. And for the sake of time, I'll just tell you what that is. It's $29.69 because you've done a lot of this today. So we figure that out. Our payment is $296.90. Okay. So this would be our monthly payment. Once you figure out your monthly payment, the bank doesn't say, oh, this month we'll do a bit more, next month a bit less. It stays. You sign the paperwork, that's it. You're locked at that. Okay? So we'll go ahead and fill this in. This doesn't change once you have it. So what we're doing here, folks, is figuring out every single month. We're going to figure out how the breakdown is of your payment. And I took the liberty, I went online and just looked at a loan here and I crunched some numbers. Watch this. This is a 5-year loan and the bank amortization schedule right there, they make one of these for every single payment, right? There's 12 for the first year, right? 12 for the next year, 12 for the next. So they have 60 of these. We're only going to do 3, okay? But they technically tell you every single month. Watch these two right here. Every single month, there is an interest portion and a principal portion. Okay? What do you notice about the interest as time goes by? It drops because you owe less and less and less. And the principal portion goes up, right? So one goes down, the other one goes up over time. So let's fill this in. And if you're a little bit overwhelmed today, I'll do more of this tomorrow. So just follow for now. To figure out the interest, this is really the lowercase interest, that formula that we're going to use. So let's write the formula down up here. It's loan times interest rate divided by 100, all of that divided by 12. That's what we're going to use there. And to figure out the principal here, folks, write this down. Principal is going to be payment minus lowercase I. Okay? So at the beginning, you start with 10 grand. So let's fill this in. So we're going to go 10 grand. That's the loan, right? Times my interest rate is 4.25 divided by 100. I already know that that's 0.0425. And we're going to divide that by 12. And here's where I'm going to put down my final answer with a dollar sign. I hope you can see it. Let me zoom in a little bit. Maybe that'll do the trick there. 10,000. I think you can see that. And so the first payment, it's $35.42, right, that you pay towards interest. So to figure out the principal portion, we just take our payment, $296.90, and we subtract $35.42 from it. And that's going to give us this. And so that's 261.48. And this goes to the bank, say goodbye to it, right? It's gone, right? This is what brings down your unpaid balance. Okay? So we're going to take that unpaid balance and subtract the principal portion, and that's how much it's going to go down by, and that's 9,738.52. So that's almost like our new loan is now this much. You can handle one more line, right? So we bring this one with us now, and we use this formula again, but now it's 9,000, write this down, 9,738.52 times the interest rate stays the same, and we still divide by 12. And then you crunch those numbers, you go this times this divided by 12, and I will give you the number. It's 34.49. And it makes sense, doesn't it? It's going down a little bit, not by much, but it has gone down. Here we repeat the same thing. We take 296.90 and we subtract 34.49 from it. And that one gives you 262.41. And look, it has gone up, right? Which makes sense. We take this principal and we do the same thing again. 262.41. Right? And then you subtract, and it brings down the payment. So before you go, do the last line right now. Do the last line on your own, and then I'll give you what you should be getting in this corner right here. Okay, so go ahead and do this on your own. I want you to have tried it before we pack up. Okay. You can do it. We've only done 3 months. By the time you're done with this, if you had done, how many years we're taking here? 3 years? You would have 36 of these until your unpaid balance is 0. Okay? I'm not going to do that, but that's what normally would happen.